Attention truck and equipment fleet owners and maintenance managers. Are you tired of the computer and electrical systems on your trucks and machinery working properly? Are you tired of having loads reach their destinations and machinery meeting quotas? Are you annoyed that everything is working up to specification? Well, help is on the way. Introducing the Pokamatic 3000, the absolute best tool available for destroying a wire harness. Our specially ground and plated tip is arrow sharp, and we guarantee it can pierce and penetrate the insulation on any $4,000 OEM wiring harness. Caterpillar, Volvo, Allison Transmissions, Kenworth, John Deere, Mack, and more. None of these companies has yet to produce a wire insulation tough enough to resist the penetrating power of the Pokamatic 3000. We know CEOs authorize those pesky engineers to spend millions of dollars designing and producing wiring and connectors specifically to keep water and corrosives out. But fear not. The $150 Pokamatic 3000, in the hands of a misguided technician, can undo all those millions of dollars of research and development in seconds. Here's how it works. You find a wire that looks a little bit like the one you think you might need to be looking for in the circuit, probably, because you're not completely sure where you should be testing, given that you might not have any idea where to begin anyway. But since you'd probably get made fun of for reading the schematic, it doesn't really matter. Choose any wire, anywhere. Clip the not-so-long, easy-to-tangle power cables to the vehicle battery. Take the Pokamatic 3000 firmly in hand and start poking. Poke, 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 poke. The resulting holes in the insulation are perfectly sized to be completely invisible when searched for by a frustrated mechanic, but just large enough to allow water, road salt, and other contaminants in. After only a few short months in the rain and snow, the mud and dirt, your wiring harness will be full of more than enough of the corrosion and oxides you'll need to bring your $90,000 truck to a screeching halt on a major interstate, thousands of miles from home. Don't you just love those calls from an irate driver about a truck on the hook? Ka-ching! You can be reassured by knowing that your truck will be worked on by another good electrical man in some shop, somewhere, who pokes even more holes in the wires to find the problem the original holes created in the first place. If you're in the equipment industry, now you can look forward to countless hours on the phone with your field service techs, hoping the next part will fix the problem, even though you know it probably won't. For the best destructive effect, we suggest you choose an ECM, PLC, multiplex, CAN bus, or J1939 wire or twisted pair for starters. You know how hard it is to work on these systems already. After we're through, it'll be nearly impossible. Nothing feels better than discovering 4 days later that instead of $3,000 worth of parts, all you needed to do was cut, strip, and crimp a 10-cent butt splice. Every manufacturer will tell you that 80% or more of all electrical problems occur in wiring-related components. Well, at Pokamatic Industries, we're doing our part to make sure that that statistic holds true. And don't worry about a real voltmeter giving you an honest answer when you start to actually look for the corrosion we caused. Corroded wires are mostly invisible to any digital voltmeter, so you'll enjoy hour after hour of fruitless and frustrating diagnostics in the future. This incontrovertible fact is conveniently reinforced by the failure of engineers to act on their knowledge that an open-circuit voltage test is basically meaningless. Why their largely incorrect and confusing diagnostic flowcharts fail to require a loaded voltage check, we'll never know, but we're sure glad they don't. Don't worry about needing to know anything about electrical theory or troubleshooting. Our patented panderific red-green LED makes the act of getting it all wrong insanely simple. Getting valid voltage information on 4 different vehicle voltages is technically impossible with one LED. But we know most people don't understand the math involved with Ohm's law, so we aren't all that worried you'll call us on it. We've also included a very loud buzzer that makes a hell of a racket but doesn't really provide useful information. Our somewhat deluded and highly cynical Pokamatic Industries tool development staff is doing all they can to make sure the choices you make in the troubleshooting process are as misdirected as possible. Instead of the satisfying feel of a real mechanic's meter, you'll enjoy a cute little low-resolution voltmeter that comes included with the Pokamatic 3000. This cheap meter we finally installed, because that's what the stupid manufacturers really want, is highly inaccurate when compared to much better meters that cost far less. In short, we've made sure that the pointless voltage readings you get with the Pokamatic 3000 will be as close to invalid as possible. What's more, our super sharp point will poke right through any corrosion on pins and connectors too. That 1/1000th of an inch of oxide that has you on your knees will never be found, because we'll make sure you slip right past it in your tests. In the sweetest irony of all, our connections are now gold-plated, so you can enjoy hundreds of years of diagnostic bliss. Your trucks and equipment electrical systems will be green in months, but the Pokamatic 3000 will never, ever corrode. We've reached the point where I tell you about all the small and useless items that we're throwing in to make you think you're actually getting more for your money. You know this stuff is really crap, but you expect it, and we aim to please. If you order now, we'll throw in a free roll of black tape. This tape can be used to create a completely pointless and ineffective seal on the wire you just destroyed. In only a few months, you'll have a dripping ooze of oil-soaked tape, leaving that sticky mess all mechanics crave. But that's not all. We'll also throw in, free of charge, a box of Scotch block connectors, even though these are easily the stupidest invention ever because they cut the insulation, damage the conductors, and introduce a dissimilar metal into the mix for a glorious growth of copper oxide. But that's not all. If you're one of the 37 conscientious mechanics who actually do try to repair the damage the Pokamatic 3000 causes, you'll receive a small tube of silicone. This silicone, which actually causes more corrosion by emitting ammonia gas during cure, is guaranteed to dry up in record time, sitting in the toolbox waiting in vain to be used. But there's still more. We'll also send you a list of nearly 50 tried and tested excuses you can use when the original damage, that is, the original repair, is discovered and the maintenance manager comes unhinged. Excuses like, "Hey, you said you needed it fast," and the tacit approval, "Well, if we weren't supposed to make holes in wires, why did the toolmen sell these things?" Don't forget the classic, "He needed those parts anyway, or at least he would have eventually." And the ever-popular truck stop special. "It ain't my truck. Once it leaves here, I'll never see it again. And then it'll be someone else's problem." The Pokamatic 3000, a marvel of 1920s technology that perpetuates an outmoded method of troubleshooting abandoned over 20 years ago by skilled mechanics everywhere. Pokamatic 3000. Never before has one tool been more responsible for causing more downtime and more loss of revenue in one industry. Pokamatic 3000. When you absolutely positively need to bring the wheels of progress to a screeching halt and never know how and why. Pokamatic 3000, the tool that manufacturers, dealers, and fleets would outlaw in an instant if they gave this parody even a millisecond of consideration. Available from any toolman in a truck, on your property, any day of the week, because no one with guts has told the tool companies to stop selling them. Call us toll-free at 1-800 Who cares if I destroy a harness, it's not my truck anyway. Or check us out online at www.isanyone-gonna-wake-up-and-do-anything-about-this-travesty.com. Pokamatic Industries is a subsidiary of Acme Manufacturing, a division of Roadrunner Inc., maker of other fine items such as Acme Earthquake Pills, the Acme Jet Propelled Pogo Stick, and Acme Explosive Tennis Balls.